The old man's daughter-in-law arrives at that moment, explaining that her father-in-law has been losing a few screws lately and has been talking nonsense non-stop. She then asks Kurt and Ulicia not to take what he says seriously. She thanks them for coming, revealing that it was she who hired their services. Before getting to business, the woman comments on how great the couple looks together with the child, making Kurt and Ulicia visibly uncomfortable. Before they can clear up the misunderstanding, Auri makes things worse by calling Kurt daddy and Ulicia mommy Uli, as if she had multiple mothers. Ulicia's face turns as red as a tomato, and she is at a loss for words. Kurt, on the other hand, assumes she's offended and decides he must make it up to her with extra effort. He then asks what the job is, and the woman explains that they own a pig farm, but the animals are pale and have lost their appetite. If things continue like this, they'll all die. While Aurora innocently tries to feed the pigs with grass, Kurt examines the farm and identifies the problem: heat exhaustion. He offers to prepare a special feed to help the pigs recover, and the woman agrees, saying she needs to take her father-in-law for a walk. Before starting, Kurt looks for Ulicia and finds her still in the same spot, her face still red. She can't stop thinking about what it would be like to live a married life with Kurt. He notices, but mistakenly believes she's furious about the situation. Determined to redeem himself, he begins preparing the feed while Akui runs around him gleefully. After feeding the pigs, Ulicia comes back to her senses and starts mentally slapping herself for indulging in such inappropriate fantasies. She tries to convince herself that she's not attracted to that brainless boy and that she's only fulfilling her professional duty of protecting him. But when she looks at him, her heart races, and she starts wondering what these feelings mean. Just then, a dragon flies overhead and lands in front of Kurt and Aurori. Ulicia panics, but the dragon isn't hostile, just wants to eat the food Kurt prepared. He reassures Ulicia, saying that in rural areas like his village, it's common for dragons to show up and eat animal feed. Ulicia knows that's absolutely not normal, but decides not to argue. For Aurori, it's the first time seeing such a majestic creature, and with innocent curiosity, she asks if she can pet that dog. Kurt explains that it's not a dog, but a baby dragon. Suddenly, Ulicia smells blood and goes to investigate. She finds a member of Mimiko's guard assigned to protect Khotun conscious. At that moment, something moves behind the bushes, and Ulicia quickly draws her sword. Seconds later, Kurt hears the sound of clashing blades. Before he can make sense of what's happening, Ulicia shouts for him to take Aurori and run. Kurt picks her up in his arms, but before they can flee, the attacker appears with claws as sharp as Wolverine's and demands they hand over the child. Kurt, for obvious reasons, misinterprets and thinks she's talking about the baby dragon, asking if she's a dragon hunter, but Ulicia senses something darker and more sinister. She insists Kurt must escape. Demonstrating more intelligence than the protagonist, the dragon grabs Kurt and Auri in his mouth and flies away. Ulicia has a brief moment to admire Kurt's talent after all. He managed to tame a dragon that would never normally approach humans. She then faces off against the attacker, blocking her strikes, but knows she can't keep up for long. The woman, who seems like she came straight out of Teu, knocks Ulicia down, leaving her barely able to stand. Ulicia demands to know who the child is that she's after, Akuri or the dragon. The woman doesn't answer, confident Ulicia won't live long enough for it to matter. To prove her point, she disarms Ulicia and injures her stomach, causing her to fall to her knees. Even so, Ulicia keeps fighting with all she's got and throws Kurt's magical crystal at the woman like a grenade as a last resort. Meanwhile, the woman who hired them is walking with her father-in-law when she hears an explosion. She wonders what it was, and the old man says it's the demon lord causing destruction. She ignores him, as usual. Ulicia believes the battle is over, but the woman emerges from the ground, revealing Hornshe is a demon, possibly the demon king the old man warned them about. The woman confirms it, saying she knows Ulicia's group already defeated a demon lord, and reveals she's been watching them since the attack on the city. Ulicia wonders what to do now. Unarmed, she gives up, hoping at least Kurt is safe, assuming he's on his way back to the city with the dragon. Accepting her end, she feels relieved that she managed to protect him, but the sound she hears beside her brings her back to reality. That voice. It's Kurt. She can't believe he came back. A flurry of thoughts rushes through her mind. Did he return with the dragon? Does he now have dragon powers to fight? But even if he wants to fight, his combat skills are terrible. Actually, the worst possible. She can't imagine losing the very person she's been protecting all this time. To make things worse, the dragon throws Kurt against a tree. Yep, she was right. Riding a dragon didn't make Kurt a better fighter. He's still the same mediocre guy as always. What a shame. She runs over to him, asking why he came back, why he decided to die, fully knowing he can't fight. He admits he made a rash decision, but says he returned solely to escape with her. She hasn't even had time to process this reality when another noise reaches her ears. Oh, what a day! She sees a herd of pigs charging toward them. The dust they kick up distracts the demon, and the two of them hop on one of the pigs and escape. While riding, she asks about Aurori, and he replies, Auri is somewhere safe, waiting for us. She also asks if what he did is normal. Why did he choose to die? He admits it was his most impulsive decision, but he couldn't let someone precious to him die while he ran away. She feels strangely numb inside. He just called her precious. Compared to Lislo, who was just delusional, she knows that when Kurt says precious, he means it as a friend. Even so, she feels both happy and sad at the same time. Why does her heart tremble for him? Is she falling for him? She doesn't even have time to think about it, as flames suddenly spread through the pigs. They vanish, and she falls along with him. The demon returns, fire in her hands. Ulicia picks up Kurt's sword to fight. She doesn't truly intend to win, since she knows she doesn't have the strength to defeat the demon. But Kurt came back to save her because he trusts her so she can't betray that trust. She plans to use the flame cutting technique to pierce through the fire. It's a delicate technique she's never mastered, but she gives it a shot. She swings to cut the flames, nothing happens. Strangely, she's unharmed. She sees Aurori in her mind and realizes the demon must have withdrawn the flames. What does that mean? Was Aurori the child the demon was looking for? These questions remain in her heart unanswered. Before she can say anything, she faints, and the demon leaves. Kurt quickly heals her, and Aurori touches her, saying she'll be fine. She opens her eyes and says she's okay. 1,000 questions race through her mind. The first is how Akuri jumped onto her head earlier. She asks what happened, and to her shock, Kurt says Akuri didn't jump, she was far away when it happened. Which means she used teleportation magic. This stuns them both. Ulicia knows teleportation portals aren't a developed magic in their world. Even among researchers, it's still considered primitive. Worse, Aurori teleported without a teleport stone. She asks if Aurori can do it again, but the girl says no. Before Ulicia can ask more, Pig calls their attention, and they see all the sick pigs around. Kurt and Auri rush to heal them, and Ulicia returns the pigs to the woman. The woman asks about her husband, and instead of explaining he's not her husband, Ulicia simply says a villager helped him, and he went to thank that villager. That villager, of course, is the dragon. While flying, the dragon alerts Kurt to something, and he heads off. Ori and Ulicia continue the journey. Ulicia can't stop thinking about Aurori. Was she the one who dispelled the magic? Akuri says no, meaning the demon removed the fire. Why? Was it because of Aurori? These questions linger in her mind. She needs to investigate Aurori more. Thankfully, she's still alive to do it. Suddenly, they see the dragon bringing Kurt back along with a guest. The guest is the demon. So many questions need answering, and he begins to explain. Indeed, when the dragon flew him away, he found the demon injured. Unsure what to do, he decided to make her an antidote. She asks what he's doing, and when he says it's an antidote, she calls him a fool for trying to save his enemy. He admits it's foolish, but says he doesn't see her as an enemy. After all, if she hadn't lifted that spell, both Akuri and Ulicia would be dead. A kind act deserves another, so he'll help her. He finishes the antidote and gives it to her. She drinks it, feels suddenly alert, then collapses again. He admits he added a sleeping agent to the antidote she'll sleep for about 3 days. As much as he wants to help, she hurt his people. Even a demon hunter shouldn't harm humans. This will be her punishment. She's shocked, but he puts her in his cart. Seeing the demon stirs conflicted feelings in Ulicia. Is this risky? Is it right? She doesn't know. Even so, she returns home. Coming home after several long days is wonderful. It feels like she's been away forever. Thankfully, she's back. Sina and the others rush to hug Akuri, relieved. Lizelot hugs her too. Ulicia knows she shouldn't let Lizelot and Akuri get too close, but today is a happy day and exception can be made. As she stands there deep in thought, a random man descends from the workshop. Worse, Lizelot introduces him as the new master of the Atelier. Ulicia assumes this is the man they plan to present to the world in Kurt's place. But she wasn't told anything in advance, leaving her speechless. This poor woman never gets a break with these kids she's raising.